The preceding program was brought to you in part by Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. It's actually politics night tonight on the Pete Mezzetti Show, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the town of Haddam. And with me to discuss what's going on in the town of Haddam is the independent candidate running for first selectman, Sean Donlan.
Hi,
sir.
Good to see you.
Hi, buddy.
Good to see you. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Good to see you. It's been.
I want
it's been a while.
I want your audience to know that I've known you for a long time.
Yes, you have. Okay. We have.
And I have one or two, maybe perhaps embarrassing stories about you, but since you're the executive producer, I won't bring them up here today.
No, absolutely not. How are you, my friend? It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
I see you around once in a while. We stayed in touch for the longest time.
I know.
And you've been promising me to get on the show.
I know.
But I've been waiting.
Here we are.
Waiting, but you must have had 10 cancellations, so finally I made it.
Nah.
Is that what it is?
No, it's not what it is.
No, but I've been doing great. You look great.
Thank you. You too.
Fantastic.
You too. It's.
And where are you living now?
Still living in locally.
You're still locally? Yeah. Good.
And you're locally, and you're running.
Obviously, Haddam.
You're running, and you're running for first selectman.
I am.
As an independent.
As an independent, and I've been endorsed by both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party.
Okay.
So that gives me a positive, exciting role in running. It's not like you're debating people and you're not worried about trying to win. I'm just focused on meeting people and talking to people and getting to know them. So it's by knowing that you're the candidate that you're going to win. It's really giving me a leg up in the sense of putting my agenda together and just working with the people in town and finding out exactly what their concerns are and what they want, outside of the worry of winning and losing.
Right. So tell us, what is your agenda and your platform to run?
Well, mostly what people are concerned about, you have to go, the most important thing is obviously taxes and finance.
Yes.
And people are always concerned about that. And the way things are happening with the economy, people are concerned about what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
And so we have a few projects that are coming that are pretty big. And one of them is Department of Public Works is in need of a new site. So that's been something that's been going on for probably 15 years, but really came to a head the last couple of years.
Okay.
And it's actually going to be on the ballot where they're going to choose. The Planning and Zoning and the current Board of Selectmen did a great job in working with the town planner as well. Okay. Bob McGarry being the first selectman, and Kate Anderson, and I'm blanking on his name right now, but Peter Baird, sorry, on the board, and then Bill Warner, and they've come to probably start out with 140 different potential spots and work their way down to about 5. And the last Board of Selectmen and Planning and Zoning meeting brought it down to 3. So we're going to put it on the board. I apologize. They're going to put it on the ballot.
Ballot, yeah.
1, 2, or 3, and people are going to choose. But it's a big expenditure. It's the estimated cost of whichever spot you choose is going to be somewhere between $9 and $15 million.
Okay.
And for a small town, that's a big project.
It is.
For a lot of money. So, and also, I wouldn't call it controversial, but also what we're trying to figure out is exactly where to put it, because one of the spots is right in the center of town. Okay. And that brings up a lot of you know, emotion with some people and a lot of analytical,
Right.
you know, views on others, you know, because it's the place they're looking to put it as a potential income producing property for the town.
Okay.
So if you put it there, you're going to lose the tax revenue
Right.
from that spot. But then that spot is very convenient for the Department of Public Works. It's also, they're already there,
Right. Oh,
which
okay.
makes things easier, you know. And the cost of building is also less
Right.
than the other potential spots. But so you have to weigh that out, you know. And some people just, aside from the economics of it, just don't want it in the center of town, you know, because of the way it looks, and
Right.
they want other things there. So I've been getting a lot of opinions, a lot of people coming forward with their ideas.
Now, where else can it go?
There's
a couple spots?
Yeah, there's a couple spots over over by Jail Hill area.
Okay,
There's
sure.
going to be one, I believe, or they might have eliminated that spot. And the other potential spot is up above the current firehouse, and that's on a big hill.
Okay.
And it would be a good spot, you know, geographically if everything was flat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tough building area, and there might be a lot of blasting, and
Right.
might have to build a new road, and that's where the cost could jump up millions
Right.
to put it there. You know, it would be out of the way, would leave that spot open in the center of town for a developer to come in and create a very, you know, lucrative tax,
Right.
you know, producing
Sure.
property. But it also would, being there is expensive to build, you know. So, yeah, it's going to get voted on, so we'll have an idea where the people in town want it.
Now, do you have somebody else running with you?
Yeah, well, there's four.
Okay.
You know, because I have two on the Republican side
And two on the
two on the
Democratic side? Okay.
So I'm trying to stay in the middle. I'm not trying to promote either
Right.
one, and I'm doing the best I can
All right.
to work with everybody to
Right.
try to show up. And you know, I've been at Republican events, I've been at Democratic events, trying to be as neutral as possible.
Right.
Because, I just don't want to sway it one way or the other,
No.
or give an opinion as to who would be best on the board. People have asked me, but I choose not to answer that question.
Yeah, right.
Say, you know, people who are going to vote, they're all four. All four people would be fun to work with, good
Right.
to work with. All four are, you know, very well qualified to take the position. So, but there's going to be two out of the
Okay.
four. And what's interesting is because I'm an independent, the rules of minority representation don't apply. So it could actually be two Democrats or two Republicans. Doesn't have to be one or the other.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So whoever gets in, and again, I know them all
Right.
for a while. I've worked with them in various capacities, and they're all fine. And you know, whoever gets in, gets in.
That's,
You know?
That's, yeah, and we're a couple weeks down from Election Day, a little bit less than a month.
Yeah, a couple weekends, right? So
Yeah.
you got the 4th, is it? So
Yep.
yeah. So,
The-
and I've been working with Bob McGarry, who's the current first selectman.
Yeah.
So Bob and I have met a couple times, and we've had some really good meetings. It's been very helpful
Okay.
transitioning, which has also been very helpful for me to get on top of things. And the last meeting was with First Selectman Bob McGarry and the town planner Bill Warner.
Okay.
So I got a fantastic education on all the current projects going on and some of the money we have coming in from the state and the grants and how those things work and what's going to be carried over when I take over. So it's been fantastic to get prepared for that. Yeah.
And you obviously, after Election Day, you get sworn in, what, 2 weeks after?
I think you're
two,
right.
three-
Yeah, it's like
two-
two weeks after. I think I
weeks
take
after,
over
then you
somewhere
take over.
in the middle. So I'll even have more time to get prepared and do things. You know, so but it's a. I think by being cross endorsed,
Yeah.
it's really exciting because. I just if you look at what's happening nationally, you know, and people have said to me, how can you possibly represent Democrats and Republicans because they're so far apart,
Right.
you know? But when you break it down to the local, they're not.
No.
They're not far apart at all. There may be a lot of belief that the Democrats and Republicans are so far apart in their beliefs. When you get down to locally, they're not. And if you talk to, if you go to Democratic Town Committee meeting, if you go to Republican Town Committee meeting, you're going to hear the same things.
Right.
Everybody wants basically the same things in their town.
Right.
They want to be safe.
Exactly.
They want their town to be special.
Right.
They want to be proud of their town. They want convenience, and they want to be able to do things in their town. They want great education. They want great recreation. They want great senior centers and places for people that are in need. Right. But they also want as little taxes as you possibly. That's the rub, because everything you want to do is going to cost money.
Right. Exactly.
And people have when people have different ideas of what is convenient or what they would like in the center of a town. Like people have, some people would want something that's more nature, like a garden or kind of a park, and other people want an industrial area,
Right.
But what they really, when you break it down to what people really want, it's very similar, and I find it very, very easy to go back and forth. And I think that it's going to put me in a unique position where to just really focus on what is the best for the town going forward, and by being beholden to both sides. Because I feel that's what I am. I represent everybody.
Exactly.
And what happens nationally is not really my concern, unless it affects us.
Exactly.
Then we just got to do it. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm really, really, really happy to be doing it. I think with my experience, I've been on the board for 8 years. I've been on the Board of Finance. I've been on numerous other boards in town. And I'm at the age now where I kind of quasi call myself an empty nester, because I got my last youngest is in college, so she's out of the house, but not really out of the house. So I think it's a really good time to be able to concentrate a lot of time on this.
Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure, of
All right.
course.
We'll be right back.
Good.
Running out of time to renew your passport? Don't turn to phony websites filled with fake promises. It can take 6 weeks or more to get a passport. So if you plan to travel internationally, you might be looking for a site to expedite the process. But beware of scams. One Connecticut consumer recently reported to Better Business Bureau's scam tracker that when her local post office ran out of forms, she went to the internet to print one off. Not only did the site charge her for the form, but in filling it out online, she shared important personal information like her social security number with the scammer. And when she went to the post office, they informed her that she had indeed been scammed. While there is a charge to get a passport, the forms themselves are free. And appointments with the State Department's passport centers also won't cost you a dime. If you're running out of time, you can opt for expedited services and shipping through the official government website. That's travel.state.gov. And before you jet off on your next trip, visit bbb.org/travel for more tips.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Sean Donlan, who's running for first selectman in the town of Haddam. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I was a little taken aback by the process. I thought we'd have time off. I'd get to go to the green room, hang out, get something to eat.
No.
And you're like, no, you're literally just waiting for the commercials to end and right back in my.
Not tonight.
right back at me. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in the green room.
I know.
I was. I thought I was kind of excited about what I was going to get.
We'll work on it. We'll work on that next time.
Maybe a little, maybe a Kit Kat or something.
Exactly.
Like
that. We'll do that next time. So you're running as an independent.
That's correct.
And you're cross-endorsed by the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. With your campaign being cross-endorsed, how does that change the way you look at things when you're out campaigning, when you're out meeting the people, talking to the people?
Yeah, it broadens my mind, right? And it opens my ears a lot more than they may have, because I've run from one party, and then what you're trying to do part of what you're trying to do when you're running campaigns, you want to differentiate yourself. You want to say, I'm better than that candidate, and our platform's better than that party's platform for X, Y, and Z reason. And so, and then you have to I would say you don't have to, but you're kind of more beholden to what your party finds important, because you'll have a campaign committee,
Right.
et cetera, and they'll come up, hey, these are the things that we want to promote. These are what we want to advertise. These are the things we want to push all our candidates, right? So now it's you don't have that,
No.
right? So really, I think it's allowed me to be more kind of focused on just promoting the town, really looking at 100% what's in the town's best interest without having to worry about differentiating or making promises that I can do this or do that, and that candidate can't. Right? Because when you do that, it sometimes can take on a negative tone, or sometimes it can take on as a confrontational tone, and which is not what we need in our town. And I'll say one thing: an underlining theme between both parties, and not necessarily choosing me as a candidate, but choosing somebody they perceive as to be more in the middle of the road and more independent, right? Is I think that I've heard it more than once that they don't want the national tone.
No.
In the towns, they're done with that. They want to somehow buffer themselves. And so by choosing I believe, I can't speak for everybody, but by choosing somebody like me, they're saying, okay, we're going to choose someone that we perceive to be kind of centrist anyway,
right?
And because I've lived in town for so long, and I've been involved in so many different, I would say, in-town cultures, with church and coaching and refereeing and being on all these different boards. You meet so many different people that aren't even involved in politics, and so many different, lifestyles and et cetera, that I think that's what they were looking for, to say we're going to try to get as far away as we can from the perception nationally that there's so much conflict between us, and it's not. It's really we're one town, and that's kind of what I've been in the beginning of one of my themes of this campaign is unity, bringing people together, and trying to temper, any of the rift that we have politically, and to try to say, hey, we're Haddamites, or whatever you want to call us, right? And I'm here to represent the best interests of Haddam and bring everybody together, And I so far, I think the campaign has kind of reflected that. And I think by having me cross-endorsed, I think it's also tempered some of the other races going on, So that's I'll say a goal of mine to do that, to try to say, hey, listen, we're all united. We're all one people that live in Haddam. We're not even parties, really. We're just people. You know what I mean? And we all have the same desires. And I think that's part of what I believe both parties were looking to put forth as well.
How big of a town is Haddam?
Hadam's got about a little over 8,000 people in it.
All right.
And we fluctuate, we've had, there was a major influx of people come around probably the 1990s, into the late 1990s, where there's a lot of subdivisions and things that come. So our school system grew really, really quickly right around that time. And now our population is stabilized, but the school population has gone down a little bit. We've seen that go down every single year. Oh, yeah? Yeah, and that's because I just think that the people that had, and I could be one of them, right? So, all three of my kids went through HK school system. And, and they're all gone, right? So I was one of those people who came into town in 2001, and now my children are, I'm still there, not going anywhere, but I'm not putting any kids into the school system. Exactly. And I think there's a lot of families like that that came around that period of time. And so that's created some changes. And part of what I talked about, the center of town, right near where people want to put potentially put the Department of Public Works, is that there was a school, we had HES, which was a beautiful school. All three of my kids went there. It was a fantastic little tiny school right in the center of town. Is gone, and that's closed. Yeah. And that's closed because of just the necessity of the school population. So we've gone from two grammar schools and had them down to one. And so then also another issue, you asked what issues, is that potentially we're going to have a new school, high school.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's something that for many reasons is people believe the school is not compliant right now.
Right.
It is a pretty old school. It's been around for a while. And so, you know, and there's question of whether renovate or build a new school, you know, and the school board's
Yeah.
going to put that up on that'll come to a town vote soon. It hasn't been voted on yet, but
It's not there yet.
That'll come up because when you get a new school, it's, you know, renovating is one thing and you don't have to move it, but when you
Right.
get a new school,
You've got to
you might
move
be
it.
looking for new, you know, a new plot of land and a whole new system and
Mm-hmm.
location and all that, you know. I think our middle school is going to be a little over 20, or around 20 years old, I mean, something like that. So we got the new middle school, if you call that new.
Yeah, right.
But then you got the high schools coming. It's at some point it's going to come up to a vote. So that's a big issue. And again, that's costly. Those are, you know, from what I'm hearing, and I'm not an expert at it, but
Right.
I'm hearing those, you know, roughly 80 to $100 million project.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah. You know, you can bond and you can spread that out over years, but it's a
Right.
cost to people.
Exactly.
You know, especially if we don't know what's going on with the economy, every little bit matters.
Yeah.
Every little bit.
And especially up at the high school, they have a heck of a TV program.
They do.
They do.
They do.
Matter of fact, their TV program was run by a gentleman by the name of Chuck Lewis. Mm-hmm. Chuck's actually the executive director here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
At
That's great.
Chuck's
That's good to know.
Chuck's the
Yeah, no, they do a fantastic job with the
They
kids.
do.
And I'm going to try to work with them. They do a few things, you know, and try to maybe get some projects, you know, some projects with the high school to have the kids do stuff.
Yeah,
Film
they're,
things.
the big thing that they do is the telethon.
They do. Yes, they do.
In
Fantastic program.
December, I believe. And I'm actually talking to Kasia Topa-Finberg, who's the TV productions teacher up at the high school
Right.
now, because usually in December for my show, I have the kids on with me to talk about the holiday show.
Yep.
So
All right.
I talked to Kasia Topa-Finberg the other day, and she was like, we're starting to talk to the benefactors of the holiday show. We should probably have a decision of who the benefactor is here within the next couple of weeks. She was like, I will let you know. I'm like, that would be nice.
And you should know, of all people, how the tremendous experience those kids get by just producing one show.
Oh yeah.
By doing that. And
Oh, yeah.
Because they have to do all parts of it.
Oh, yeah.
Writing, the producing,
Hosting.
camera. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's invaluable experience those kids can have going forward.
I've never been up there the day of the show, but I've seen the show, the final product on TV
Right.
when they run it for their Christmas break, and they do a phenomenal
Oh, yeah. They've always done a great job.
They do a phenomenal
We have a
job.
great high school.
Yeah.
We have a fantastic school system in Haddam.
Yeah,
And we got to do our best to preserve it.
yeah.
They produce a lot of fantastic students, great kids.
They do.
Yeah. And so, you know, that's a testament to the families too. The
Yep.
people live in both Haddam and Killingworth, you know, testament to the teachers and the administration, but we have very good matriculation in HK. The kids do very well when they get out of HK. Various different things, whatever they decide to pursue, but you know, that's one of the great things about Haddam is our school system, you know.
What else is going on in town that we
Well,
want? What else?
The other thing I'm going to promote is a lot of local business,
Okay.
local buying,
All right.
you know, because I think that one of the things I really want to focus on is promoting our local business.
Yeah.
We're going to create a couple things. I'm working with Economic Development Commission now. Before I get in, we're going to try to create some directories
Okay.
and perhaps create like a website. You can link up to the town website.
Sure.
And so try to just promote businesses and maybe, you know, I think one of the things we could do with the kids is television spotlight a business every month.
Yeah.
Or maybe a type of business, you know, restaurants one week or something else. And just to try to just introduce people more to the local businesses and what we have in town.
Right.
Because you have to support them. We don't have a lot of commercial. They're
No.
not industrial. You know, so if we can promote and support our local businesses, again, it creates tax dollars.
Right.
They own buildings, they pay taxes.
They pay that, right.
Or they lease, and
Right.
and their success is vital. You know, in our downtown area, you know, or mostly all New England downtown areas, right? They had a business there, they had a factory, they had jobs, you know, and those things have changed over time. You know, they could have been, you know, in a small town like Haddam. I mean, probably, and I'm not a historian.
No.
From talking to the people in town, you're talking like 30, 40 years ago, there might have been 700 jobs all around the center of town.
Wow.
You know, you had the school, you know, the teachers, and you had, you know, different factories in town. They're gone. So those jobs are gone, right? So, you know, if we can promote our business in town, right, then that's jobs here and there, but again, and it's tax dollars. You know, are we going to have, you know, a big factory like it was back in 1900? No, that's not going to happen again. But we could, you know, have various type of retails and restaurants, or just, you know, things like that. We're also working on some I call it ecotourism. People say, use that word, but Haddam is beautiful. Haddam is absolutely gorgeous town with incredible natural resources. I mean, we have one of the greatest views of the Connecticut River. It's so pretty down in Haddam. It's not that far across. It's almost like you can reach over and touch the trees on the other side. Exactly. You know, and if we can get, you know, attract people to come down, we have biking trails, hiking trails. We're working on connecting them, so trying to make them more accessible to people. So maybe connect them through sidewalks, trails, go from one to the other. But you could walk in Haddam just around downtown. You could have 4 or 5 mile walk in the woods, the various trails, if we can connect them. Right. You know, that's another great, you know, asset Haddam has that we need to promote. Biking, etc., maybe fishing, type of various fishings, and getting people down to those areas.
Right. Sean Donlan, we're about to run out of time.
Oh,
I want to thank you for coming down.
Good to see you.
We'll see you soon.
Finally, I get to
know.
come here. I don't know who you were going to interview before me, but thankfully they canceled and I was able to sneak
There
in
you
here.
go. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Of course, anytime.
All right.
I appreciate
On behalf of Sean Donlan, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, good night. We'll see you next time. The preceding program was brought to you in part by